The first thing the woman did after being reborn was to pick up her phone and start a live stream. Then she ran to the front of the police station and smashed a police car and arrogantly told the police that she had committed a crime and demanded they arrest her immediately. Seeing the woman's unusually agitated state, the police realized she must have suffered some kind of grievance, so they tried to persuade her to tell them everything, assuring her that they could handle it all. But the woman did not back down. Instead, she threatened the police that if they didn't arrest her right now, she would keep smashing things. Hearing that, the onlookers all thought she was crazy. After all, intentionally damaging property could lead to fines and detention, and in serious cases, even 3 to 7 years in prison, not to mention she was smashing a police car. Little did they know, the reason the woman knowingly broke the law was because it was the only way she could save her life. It turned out that in her previous life, the woman's boyfriend and best friend had used her access key to commit a financial fraud that shocked the nation. Without any defense or preparation, she became the scapegoat for her boyfriend and friend. With the flawless chain of evidence they had deliberately fabricated, the woman had no way to defend herself and was sentenced to life in prison. When she was first imprisoned, she naively believed that if she behaved well, she could earn a reduced sentence and one day prove her innocence, until her boyfriend and best friend came to visit her in prison when she begged them to take care of her elderly parents. The two of them arrogantly revealed the truth and told her that not long after she was imprisoned, her parents had passed away one after another from the shock. It was only at that moment that the woman realized how foolish she had been, unable to accept the reality. She eventually died from the emotional breakdown. Unexpectedly, the heavens granted her another chance to start over. So the first thing the woman did after being reborn was to live stream herself smashing a police car. She wanted to publicly create a perfect alibi, just as she planned. From the moment she started live streaming the act, passers-by all took out their phones to record the absurd scene. Soon, someone recognized that the woman was a top law graduate from a prestigious university, and the commotion quickly drew the police over. But when questioned by the police, the woman not only refused to admit fault, she arrogantly demanded that they arrest her, and if they didn't, she would keep smashing cars. At first, the police thought she didn't understand the law, but she clearly recited the relevant legal penalties and even demanded the maximum penalty for detention. Meanwhile, her boyfriend and best friend, just like in the previous life, used her access key to secretly transfer bank funds and framed her for it. Little did they know, at that very moment, the woman was already at the station being questioned, perfectly avoiding the time of the crime. When her parents heard that their daughter had been detained, they rushed anxiously to the police station. As soon as he saw his daughter, the father begged the police to let her go. He was willing to compensate for all the damages, just to be able to take her home, so it wouldn't ruin her future. But the woman looked at the clock on the wall, recalling her past life's experience, and realized her boyfriend and best friend still had 7 minutes before committing the crime. The woman knew that she had to stay at the station to prevent the tragedy from repeating, so to stop her parents from taking her home, she had no choice but to act crazy to stall for time. She even grabbed a police officer's uniform and shouted for help. Everyone was completely dumbfounded. To calm her down, the police had to ask her parents to leave first and said they would handle it. Seeing how devastated her parents looked, the woman silently swore to herself that she would make her boyfriend and best friend pay. However, not long after, her worried mother came back again, trying once more to take her daughter home. Seeing this, the woman quietly glanced at the time and found that her best friend and boyfriend had already completed the crime. She finally felt relieved, so she returned to her normal demeanor and voluntarily offered to pay for the damages. Seeing her drastic change in behavior, the police were suspicious, but since she wasn't causing any more trouble, they followed protocol, letting her parents handle the compensation, while she would be detained at the station for the night. Once the woman was locked up, she saw a news report on TV saying that $500 million had been illegally transferred from a bank. The woman immediately understood that the moment to decide her fate in this life had arrived. Sure enough, the next day, right after her parents finished her release procedures and took her out of the station, her boyfriend and best friend showed up with Charlie, a detective specializing in economic crimes. Upon confirming her identity, Charlie immediately presented a warrant and on charges of illegal bank fund transfer, took her once again to the Economic Investigation Bureau, just like in the previous life. Her best friend took out her phone and played a recording in it. The woman's drunken voice claimed she would soon get $500 million and then she'd be able to live freely around the world. Meanwhile, the man presented altered chat records and handed them to the police as evidence. The bank president looked at his most trusted employee in deep disappointment. He truly couldn't understand why she would do such a thing. The surrounding reporters were also buzzing with discussion, believing she had stolen from within, unable to resist temptation. Seeing that all the evidence pointed to her, the police immediately prepared to arrest her for further investigation. Just as the man and her best friend thought their plan had succeeded, the woman loudly questioned them, demanding they state the exact time of the crime, thinking the evidence was airtight. Her best friend proudly gave the precise time. Hearing that, the woman pretended to hesitate and said, at the time of the crime, she was smashing a police car. Not only did she have a live stream as proof, but more than a dozen police officers could testify that she was nowhere near the scene of the crime.